1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Ayesha Nayab. First, the headlines. Prime Minister says government is immediately providing 25,000 rupees cash assistance to each flood-affected family to provide relief to 9 million affectees across the country. Information Minister says the government believes in rule of law and those who committed corruption will be held accountable. Pakistan and United States have agreed to enhance bilateral cooperation in diverse sectors. The Hurriyat leadership has termed Modi government's move of granting voting rights to Indian citizens residing in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir as another attempt of political disempowerment and marginalization of Muslim majority in the held territory. President has paid tributes to the humanitarian workers for delivering life-saving aid to the most vulnerable people affected by crisis situations. Israeli forces martyred a Palestinian during a raid in occupied West Bank today. And now the news in detail. The government has started immediate distribution of cash relief worth 25,000 rupees per family in areas hit by recent flash floods and rains across the country. In the first phase, the distribution of the amount was started today among flood affectees of Balochistan, including Talmaksi, Kuzdar, Qila Abdullah areas were the worst hit by rains and floods. Addressing a ceremony organized in Islamabad in this connection, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif said all relevant institutions along with international partners are working day in and day out to provide relief to the people affected by flood. He said a total of 37 billion rupees will be distributed through Benazir Income Support Program among flood affectees across the country. The Prime Minister said following this immediate cash assistance, damage assessment in flood-hit areas will be made with the help of provincial governments and international partners. He said this is a chance for all of us to move beyond politics and help our brothers and sisters in need. He said hundreds of people died due to these rains and flash floods, including our senior army officers and jawans who laid their lives while serving their fellow countrymen in pain. Minister for Poverty Alleviation and Social Safety Shazia Murray, who joined the ceremony via video link, said this cash relief will be distributed in a transparent manner among the flood affectees through authentic and verified data of Benazir Income Support Program. She urged all stakeholders to cooperate with the government and point out any loopholes in this effort. Earlier, Chairman National Disaster Management Authority Lieutenant General Akhtar Nawaz said this cash relief is not compensation as that will be made on the basis of joint damage assessment which is underway. He said this cash relief is for those areas which were declared calamity hit or will be declared so in coming days as rains continue to hit. He said the current year witnessed a 150% increase in rains in last 30 years in the country. Minister for Information and Broadcasting Maryam Aurangzeb, Minister for Finance and Revenue Miftah Ismail, Advisor to Prime Minister Qamar Zaman Kaira and others attended the ceremony. Minister for Information and Broadcasting Maryam Aurangzeb has said the present government believes in rule of law and those who committed corruption will be held accountable. Addressing a news conference in Islamabad today, she said the PTI government ruined the economy, but now we have put it on the right track. Maryam Aurangzeb said PTI Chairman Imran Khan should respond to the foreign funding received by his party and the gifts he got from Tosha Khana. She said all the institutions including FIA and the NAB are working as per the law, but Imran Khan is not responding. The Information Minister regretted that Imran Khan victimized his political opponents when he was in power. She said fake cases were registered against the former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and his daughter Maryam Nawaz, but they still responded to the allegations because they knew they had not done anything wrong. She said the PTI chairman has now himself admitted that he had no evidence of corruption against the political opponents. Pakistan and the United States have agreed to enhance bilateral cooperation in diverse sectors. The understanding to this effect was reached during a meeting between Pakistan Ambassador to the United States, Masood Khan, and U.S. Assistant Secretary of State for International Organization Affairs, Michelle Sisson. Speaking on this occasion, Michelle Sisson said that meeting with Masood Khan will help to further strengthen our multilateral cooperation, including sustainable development goals between the two sides. Economic Coordination Committee has decided to lift a ban on import of non-essential and luxury items. The decision to this effect was taken during the ECC meeting held in Islamabad today, with Finance Minister Miftah Ismail in the chair. The ECC recommended release of those held up consignments that arrived after 30th June up to 31st of July with payment of surcharge. On the recommendation of Ministry of Energy, the ECC approved to exclude new LNG terminals and associated facilities from application of third-party access and allowed amendment in Article 6.2a of LNG Policy 2011. On a summary submitted by Ministry of National Food Security and Research on allocation of 300,000 metric tons of wheat from Utility Store Corporation, the ECC directed the ministry for resubmission of summary after incorporating complete details of incidental charges and comments of Finance Division. This is Radio Pakistan. The Hurriyat leadership has termed Modi government's move of granting voting rights to Indian citizens residing in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir as another attempt of political disempowerment and marginalization of Muslim majority in the held territory. In a joint statement in Srinagar, APHC leaders including Khadim Hussain and Syed Sibt Shabbir Qumi said the only purpose of such colonial move by the Modi regime is to bring BJP to power and install a Hindu chief minister in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. World Humanitarian Day was observed today. This year, the World Humanitarian Day is remembering real-life heroes, focusing on what drives humanitarians to continue to save and protect lives despite conflict, insecurity and risk. The day is observed in the memory of the then Special Representative of the UN Secretary-General to Iraq, Sergio Varadi-Milou, and 21 of his colleagues perished in the bombing at the UN headquarters in Iraq. President Dr. Arif Alvi has paid tribute to the humanitarian workers for delivering a life-saving aid to the most vulnerable people affected by crisis situations. In his message on the occasion of World Humanitarian Day today, he acknowledged the humanitarian and philanthropic spirit of Pakistanis who always supported their brethren during natural disasters. He said with the unprecedented increase in climate disasters faced the country recently, the vulnerable people in Pakistan are more in need of humanitarian assistance and protection than ever before. Dr. Arif Alvi said disasters as a result of climate change have increased forced displacement, high rate of malnutrition, increased mortality rates, and have adversely affected the vulnerable segments of the population economically and financially. Israeli forces martyred a Palestinian during a raid in occupied West Bank this morning. In a statement, Palestinian Health Ministry said the man was shot in the head at Tuba City while walking back to home after the morning prayer. In Syria, 9 people, including 5 children, were killed in a rocket attack on a market in northern Al-Bab city today. The third and final one-day international of 3-match series between Pakistan and Netherlands will be played at Rotterdam on Sunday. The match will start at 2 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. Pakistan has already won the series by 2-0. And finally, the weather. Rain and wind with a thunder shower is expected in North Balochistan, South Punjab, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Upper Sindh, Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan during the next 12 hours. Heavy falls are also likely at few places in eastern Balochistan during the same period. Now some of the headlines once again. Prime Minister says government is immediately providing 25,000 rupees cash assistance to each flood-affected family to provide relief to 9 million affectees across the country. Information Minister says the government believes in rule of law and those who committed corruption will be held accountable. Pakistan and United States have agreed to enhance bilateral cooperation in diverse sectors. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analysis, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletin on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.